My name is Marshall. I'm from a small town called Valley Station, Kentucky. I went to undergraduate school at a little engineering school. I got an MBA at Indiana, PhD at the UCLA Anderson School. I was a college professor and dean when I was very, very young. So the first thing I do is speaking and teaching. The second thing I do, which I'm most famous for, is I coach executives. What I love about coaching, though, is not what I teach them, it's what they teach me. I learned so much from coaching, so that's what I love about coaching. Then the next thing I do is I write and edit books and articles. What led to this book? A lot of this book, like many good things in life, random chance. By the way, I'm getting a lot of credit for writing this book. Let's get clear. I'm the second author on this book. I'm not the first author. In the book, it was really not easy to write a book for women because there's a subtle balance here. We don't want to come off as judgmental. So the idea behind the book is not said that every woman should want to have more levels of power and authority in the world. But the book is written, if you do want to have more levels of power and authority in the world, this book is for you. We're not saying you should, but we're saying if you do, that's what the book is for. And one issue that women have far more than men is dealing with this concept of power, almost embarrassed to try to get more power. Well, what's the definition of power? Influence potential. And if you want to influence the world in a positive way, by definition, you have to have power. Even before the book, I noticed one trend that came up with women far more than men. The average woman, I'm often asked, are there gender differences in leadership feedback? And the answer is yes. There are two statistically significant gender differences. The average woman is seen as a better leader than the average man in 360 feedback. Now, this doesn't mean every woman is seen as a better leader than every man. It just means statistically, the average woman gets better 360-degree feedback scores as a leader than the average man. Life is short. Don't be so self-critical. And Sally and I talk about examples in the book about women who are fantastic leaders, yet very self-critical, very hard on themselves. So everyone look up here. I want everyone to smile, smile. I want everybody to take a deep breath, do your hand like this. I want you to go, Now, how about all that guilt crap? Women are much more likely than men to put their job ahead of their career. I never even thought of that. I never heard this phrase until we did this book, putting your job ahead of your career. Now, what's that mean? So focused on doing a great job that you're not thinking about the next job and the next job and the next job on the assumption, if I do a great job here, therefore I should be recognized. Well, number one, that's not true. And number two, it probably should not be true. Because you doing a great job at this level doesn't mean you're the most qualified to go to this level. You need to be thinking about that next job. Women tend to be more focused on their present job. And also, which is related to expertise and perfection, trying to be that perfect everything to everyone. Oh my God, Facebook, what a downer. By the way, statistically, the more hours people spend on Facebook, the more depressed they are. For two reasons. One, you see on Facebook all these families, and they're all perfect. You notice? Do you see ugly kids on Facebook? No, they're not ugly. They're all these perfect, how about that vacation? Oh, they all love the vacation. Does anybody ever say, yeah, we went on vacation, it sucked, right? No, they don't say that. They all pretend to have these great vacations. So one reason it's depressing is you see all these dream people and you're kind of depressed because you think, my life isn't like those people. The other reason people are depressed is they're the people who put the nonsense on Facebook. They know that's not their own lives. They know that's not their own lives. This is some artificial view of the world, which just is a downer because you think people's lives are somehow this way. It's nothing connected with reality. Women are very good at building relationships, much less good at leveraging relationships. What does that mean? Well, women are better than men about building positive relationships with people, but are much more hesitant to get paid back. Much more hesitant to have it be two ways. In fact, often feel guilty about asking people to return the favor. It's kind of like, well, if I ask you to return the favor, I must not be a martyr or a saint or something. I must be some normal human. As opposed to saying, look, this is a win-win relationship here. This is a win-win relationship. I'm not trying to be mean or exploitive. On the other hand, I'm busting my butt to help you. It's not a bad idea that sometimes you bust your butt to help me too. That we build these relationships, but also lever these relationships to move up in the organization. For the next 10 minutes, okay, we're going to have 4 rules. Rule number 1, you cannot attempt to learn something. Rule 2, you cannot try to become more productive. She's already getting a little uncomfortable here. It's going to get worse. Rule 3, you cannot even think about becoming a better person. And the hard one, Rule 4, you cannot even consider helping others. I want you to spend 10 minutes and focus on one thing: your own happiness and self-acceptance. Just 10 minutes. I did this with a large group of women in India recently. 2 women just broke down. They didn't just start crying. They just lost it. Nobody ever gave them 10 minutes. Final advice for life. As you journey through life, pick a path. Pick a path. It's your path. As much as you can, have that path come from where? In your heart. It's your path. It's not someone else's. Any path that you pick through life is going to have trade-offs. Make peace with those trade-offs. Make peace. And don't go through life doing this to yourself. One other thing, you do not have to be a, quote, role model for every woman who's ever lived. Yeah. If any of you ever heard this, you need to be a role model for the other women. As if you made a mistake, you've let down every woman who came before you, those brave women that paved the way for you, you've let them all down. And by the way, the women after you, let them down too. Why not? Let them all down. Don't buy into that. You don't have to be some kind of role model for every woman who ever lived. You just show up in life, you do your best, you be a good person and make peace. That's all any of us can do. That's all any of us can do.